You understood everything perfectly. Love you, huh? Okay. Every time the same thing? Don't have anything else? No. You see that? And you tell me I shouldn't scold people. Who said that? Who was the one who was so stupid? I forgot. Where is she? You teach me not to scold people. Always have to be loving to my disciple. Yes, that's the way I should be, huh? And then all of you so stupid. And always, like a sheep. Just one person say something, everybody said, bah! Wow, fantastic and nice and so. Oh, that's really quiet and peaceful. But for what? Boredom, A boring peace is also worse than war, huh? You don't understand many things. It's all right. That's why you come and you study, yeah. But you should not just fix at studying. You have to develop. Understand? Develop. We're not an academy. You have to learn yourself like hell, so that you get a PhD and then that's it, finished. And everybody knows that you graduated. It's not the point. Understand? We don't learn for the other people to know. We learn so that we know, and that we can bless the world silently by our, inner glory and inner love. Yeah, it's not a show. Every time I come, people clap their hands. It's all right. Sometimes I'm in a good mood, and I say, okay. But it's really sometimes make you feel terrible. You're supposed to be quiet and look for insight, knowledge. Not always want to, Master, come in? No? Huh? Where's the show stuff? Yeah, actually, but it's also good. It's also good. This is good that even just one person, one man show, interested people all the time. I never bore, never bore people. That's a good sign also. It's not bad. Actually, I'm supposed to cash money. Okay, I'm supposed to sell a ticket. If you're that interested in my show. It's a very lucrative business if you want to earn money. Anybody want? Huh? Anyone? Mastership for sale.
Excellent idea.
You want to buy it?
Sure.
How much? I don't think you can afford it. The thing is, just like every other science, and study, you have to develop yourself. Huh? That's why the Buddha say, rely on yourself and no one else. Of course, he say to see the Buddha is very rare and a greatest blessing that says 100,000 aliens you won't have one. You know what I mean? Not once in a lifetime, but once in many lifetimes you would see a Buddha. Probably the Buddha is in front of you, but you don't see. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Many people see, but they don't stare. They don't see anything. They probably look, but they don't see. They hear, but they don't listen. They don't understand. And Jesus also say that no one comes to the Father except through me, right? Yes. But nevertheless, he didn't say that you saw me, and then you go home and sleep, and then surely you go to heaven. No, right? He tells you self-cultivation, right? Love your father, love my commandment, pray in the closet, love your neighbor. Wow, it's a lot of work. You know what I mean? It is not that it's okay now you saw me, Jesus, and you surely go to heaven. No. He didn't say that. Huh? Sometimes even to his relatives, he said, who is my relatives? Who is my mother? Who is my sister? Only the one who does the will of the Father is my relatives, my mother, my sister. Remember? Huh? When his mother and sister came to see him, and people reported to him, he even neglected them for a while at least. He said, oh, I have no relatives except you. You know, those who do the will of the Father, who love their neighbor, yeah? And who keep the commandments, who love the Father with all the heart, the soul, and the mind, etc., etc. Remember? Huh? So, and even Jesus, before he became the world leader, spiritual leader, he had to go into the closet and meditate and pray. You know what I mean? And he even had to undergo the humility of baptism. You know, even though if he knew he was a son of God, he wouldn't have done that. You know what I mean? Still, he has to go through everything like us. So, to show us that when we're human beings, we must work. Huh? And he tell his disciples, go out and spread the gospel, right? He said, whatever I tell you in secret, you go and preach on the housetop. But don't give pearl to the swine. Huh? Is that not so? Yeah, he also said that not everyone can accept his teaching. Mostly in any generation, is that right? Any period of time of our earth, the people who truly love God are very rare, yes. And there are also different level of God as well, see, and different level of our beings. And as long as we are in this world, if we do not learn to understand the issue of spirituality, then when we go to heaven, even though we go to heaven, because the love of the Father is immense, yes, you will not discriminate, really. You love him, fine. You don't love him, he loves you. Yes. But still, then we go up there and we don't develop. You know what I mean? And we're still the way we were before. Selfish, stupid angel. Oh, not all angels are good. That's why they have to come here and don this physical raiment. Is that what you say? Clothes? Yeah, raiment? Yes. In order to study, to learn how to love others, how to do the service, instead of just sit there and enjoy the bliss of heaven all the time. And now, we are given the opportunity to study in this school of life. If we do not take this opportunity and learn well, then we will be very regretful in heaven. You know what I mean? No one else will tell you anything. You yourself look back at your life. At that time, it will be very clear to you, like a mirror. And then you will feel very, very, very sorry that you were so weak, that you were so lazy, that you were so attached to the material things that the Father gave you, but only as a tools so that you can progress. Instead, you cling to these tools and forget the mission, forget what you are here for. That's why many souls are wandering around in the transmigration. They're earthbound because they're so much attached to this world, even though the gates of heaven is always open. But we don't want to go back. You know what I mean? Yes. Many people who have been having not any kind of particular meditation or anything, you know, but they fear God, fine. They also abide the law of heaven and they try to be good. And they're truly a kind of a loving, kind, easygoing folk. It's all right. Then, of course, at the time of their final departure, they will also go to heaven. And the Father will be also there to embrace them. Or not embrace them. No, it's not necessary that they can always see the Father. Actually, we can only learn the purpose of creation if we try to do our best in the earth. You know, then we will be given the opportunity to understand the creation. the whole completely. Sometimes we will be shown just a part of the creation program, and that we know a little at that corner only. And then sometimes we are shown completely. That is the grace of God. So many people, sometimes they have experience. For example, they meditate, okay? Not necessarily meditate with us, or maybe in another kind of meditation, like they probably sit in quiet prayer, very sincere. Prayer is always, always beautiful and always useful. And our prayers will always be answered. But only if they are sincere and from the heart. Not that every day you flip and flop the Bible and then you say, Father in heaven, hallowed be your name, please give me your bread, please give me your water, please give me everything. And amen, thank you very much. You know what I mean? The most sincere prayer always comes from the heart. When you are truly have no other motive in your heart, you know what I mean? When you could not, if you don't pray, you cannot bear it. That is a true prayer. And God always answers this prayer. Because God is powerful, almighty. There's nothing that He cannot do. Or she cannot do. Minus. It's all right in that case. You know what I mean? It's just that we don't have enough power of sincerity. That's why many of our prayers are not answered. And we think God is not there. That's the trouble. Poor old man. Yeah. God blamed for everything. Yes. And all this war and disaster and hungry and all these things. We just blame it on God or the hierarchy of heaven that don't help us. Truly, it's our choice. The choice of the people who goes against the will of heaven and the law of the universe. These people will make war and listen to the negative force in the nature, which we call Satan, or devil. Yeah? They're always there. That's how the world stays in balance. That's how the negative world, this world, stays in balance. In the heavenly world, there's no need for this negative force to exist. You know what I mean? In heaven, there's no good, no bad. And people sometimes do not think of sins the way we do. They don't condemn you. Yes. So at the time of death, sometimes it's you who condemn yourself. And you will be very regretful that you did not do the best. You shouldn't have done the other way. You know you should have, but you did not do. And that is what will torment you after your death, and that's what makes people call hell. Understand? There's no God who stay there and pass judgment. It's just that at the time of death, you'll be shown the low level, okay? That is, if we did not practice any truly repentance, on that we did not truly lead a virtuous life the way it has to be. And then we'll be shown a kind of like movies, but so fast that the whole lifetime going just this second even. And then you will see everything, but you understand, even in such a quick speed, you understand everything that you have done. What is wrong, what is right, you know everything. And then at that time you will cry. You will know that you have done wrong. And you will not be given the opportunity again. You know what I mean? A very, very long time. Because there's so many are waiting to come to be human beings. So you are a long way on the waiting list. Because you already been given the opportunity. That is what the so-called eternal hell or eternal, you know what I mean, condemnation. But of course, nothing is really eternal, Nothing is really eternal. It's just that for an unhappy situation or feeling, it seems a long, long time. And when we're happy, it seems so fast, the time goes so fast. Is that not so? Okay. So because our sins are not eternally committed, so our grief will not be eternally carried out. It's just that we feel so long, and we feel so regretful that we had been given the opportunity to do good, to improve our knowledge about the creation, about our Father, or how everything functions, and how we should learn to love one another. And we did not take that opportunity. And that's the problem. And that will make us feel very, very, very sorrow. And I wish that it don't happen to you. I'm sure it will not, because you have been diligent in your search for the truth, for your own original abode, and for God, yes. And of course, in this situation, sometimes our mind is weak, the body is also weak. Sometimes we want to meditate a long time, but the body is so weak, the flesh so weak, and the will also weakened with the flesh. Therefore we have to study again and again. Make a firm, I would say, start again. Okay, today I feel I don't meditate very well. Tomorrow, yes, next day I make more effort. Yeah, always try to strive for better will, so that we can progress in spirit and we become a stronger and wiser person in heaven. It's not that everybody is the same in heaven, even though God is just and I would say fair. Yeah, He loves all His children, or her children, the same way. But nevertheless, because we do not strive, ourselves. Therefore we just stay there. Just like children in the school, some are intelligent, some are diligent, some just went out and playful with girls or do other things, and drug and things like that, according to circumstances. And when they were too weak to resist, yes, and too rebellious to listen to the parents, then they harm themselves and cause a lot of trouble for themselves. Of course, the parents will be affected and be miserable, but the most suffering person is themselves. Yeah. Similarly, when we come down to this world, we are given all the tools, the equipment, and the circumstances in which we can thrive, and trying to overcome the situation, overcome the hatred that is bred. That's the British, bred by the circumstances. That's it. Produced by the circumstances. Yes, we are put into sometimes in unfavorable condition. To see how we can love thy enemies, but we often fail. We often fail to love thy enemy, our enemies. We often give in to our flesh desire, and also the temptation of the surrounding to hate our enemies, just the way we are taught, just the way we used to, and not the way of heaven. So sometimes we will fail. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. And the more successful we are, of course, the higher our position in the hierarchy of the universe. And we will be given more opportunities in the system, in the heavenly system, to do better work, more interesting work, and more universal work, that we can develop immense talents that we never know we have, even in the wildest imagination. We'll be given leading roles, in the heaven, right? Teaching a lot of heavenly beings and things like that. Or when we go to this earth, we become like master, teacher of spirituality, or some special position, leading mankind into the kingdom of God. Otherwise, we don't have this opportunity. If we slack in this world, in the only time we are in school, do not think that you always are given the opportunity and come back again. You know what I mean? Not always. Not always. It is a generation, the DNA that stays behind. The information from that DNA, and that these desires and all this energy of the desires that stays behind, that reincarnate. Not you, the soul, the person. Understand? There's so many souls waiting to go into this school. I don't have space for you to always to stay behind. You can do that, but you wait a long time. Understand? And meanwhile, you suffer. I suffer from your own sorrow. The love of heaven is there, but you will feel very sorry for the things that you have missed. Yes. You wish you could have do it again, and you would have done it better, and you will do it better. But then, if you're given the opportunity again, you forget. Now that's the problem. That's why sometimes we have to come back to relearn if we truly are good and merit that, or have a good opportunity to go down. For example, go down here, you have to exchange it for something. Okay, for example, there's a mission of somebody come down and help the world, all right? And then they say, okay, I join, please, can I join? I do anything. I promise. I will be like the last time. Really, no. All right. So of course, heavenly is always a trusting company, yes, give you the next job. But then when you go down there, instead of helping that person and that group to better the world, you do something else, maybe even against them, because you become forgetful of what you had promised before you take birth in this world. All of us. That's why you see the Buddha 30 years before he became enlightened. Huh? Jesus also. You know what I mean? Not that they're born immediately say, oh, I'm the Buddha, I have to go and help the world. You know what I mean? Forget. And so, there's so many pushing opportunity from heaven, like, disaster will befall you, or somebody else etching you behind, or pushing you, or some situation happen that you suddenly will feel awakened, or some friend will come along, some beggars on the street even, remind you of the ephemeral nature of this world. So these beggars are also angels. Yeah, sometimes the suffering are there to awaken us. Some people come do some great mission. Some people come do small mission in order to earn the merit of being a human, so that they can be in the school and earn the merit so that they can advance in heaven and have another opportunity perhaps to advance again. You know what I mean? Yes. For example, somebody, I often told you already, like the Vietnamese refugees, they were there as their own their own will. They wanted to be like that, so that they can awaken the conscience of the world about how terrible the refugees can be, and how war can affect people in many nations, not only one. For example, and to give the people who help them, who give them shelter and food and support and sympathy, the merit of love. You know what I mean? Whenever we love somebody, we love ourselves. We really boost our glory. It's not that we have anybody, we have ourselves. Please remember this. Whenever you do something good, it is the will of heaven. It's good for you. You should do more good. Be more loving. Try to strive inside. Use your wisdom. Yeah? Don't be the sheep in the crowd. You already step out of the crowd. You already do much better. Yeah? You understand? Trying to remember more of the promise that you made to the Father and the heavenly hierarchy before you came. That's why you come here. Yeah? You sacrifice many things. You sacrifice the taste of the palate, sacrifice the enjoyment of the world. Yes? You try to pray in the closet. You pray humbly and secretly, and not showing off, like staying in a big place or on the street or a big church, or make a big grandeur of yourself, how virtuous you are by loud speaking and repeating perfectly the rhyme of this psalm, palm, and that psalm, and that how say a holy song or what and another. You know what I mean? And you know how to do it perfectly, the ritual of the temple, the church or whatever it is. So So therefore, your merit, of course, will be manifold. It's not that all the people are the same. And try also to make use now of your memory of the things that you remember during the meditation. And consciously also you will remember many things. That's why you change. It's not because I work magic on you. It's you who work magic on yourself. Because you will remember through meditation and through contemplation and the wisdom from the light and the sound what you are and what you're supposed to do to advance yourself. You know what I mean? Because you contact with the Supreme Wisdom again, and then you remember what is your mission and what you're supposed to do. That's why you change. That's why you change always for the better. Because you remember the heavenly being that you are. That's why you change. You become better and better. You become more angel, more heavenly-like. That's all your work. Alright? Of course the Master and the heavenly being always stand by and help us. But if you don't do it yourself, it doesn't matter how many help, it's no good. You know what I mean? We have to do it ourselves first, and then the heavenly beings will help us. The Master Power always help us. Just like the child when he starts to walk, even though he walks himself, he tries to stand up and fall and stand up and fall all the time. But then he tries. And then the parents stand by, clap their hand, supporting, and teach him. Yeah? But he himself must walk, alright? The parents cannot walk for him. Even though the love of the parents is immense. And the parents can walk and it's very strong, but the child must try. You see? That's why. That's why don't ask me again why God is so perfect and why don't God make us perfect? Because that's no fun. Yeah? No fun when the child is born and walk right away. Okay? And no fun for a child of a professor to be born a professor. I mean, he has to learn, even though his father is a professor, he must learn the way his father learned. And that knowledge will be his. You know what I mean? Not inherited, not second-hand, but his, well-earned. Then you feel proud. You know what I mean? Most of the money you earn yourself, you will know how to spend and you cherish it. Yeah? But most of the spoiled princess-like, people who are born with a silver spoon or golden spoon, they don't know how to deal with, the true life, really. They sometimes are so spoiled that they even damage the property of their ancestor and burn it, waste it. There are some heavenly beings who never go to this world. They don't need to, perhaps. Actually, because Father also needs somebody there, Cannot send all down here, Perhaps that's why. And even when God gives us the opportunity to be in this world, right? And we actually want to be tested. The harder the situation, the more challenging. You know what I mean? That's why actually I told you sometimes I suffer with the people. But on the other hand, with the wisdom I do not see suffering. Sometimes you ask me, like I'm speaking in paradox, remember? Because to a person who practices very, very the spiritual way, and also who can see the universe the way heavenly being sees, then there's no suffering. You know what I mean? There's only tests and trials, so that the soul, the individual soul, will progress. The harder the test, the better. You graduate more in more glory. Those, Olympic and all that, wow, they try very hard, and they go through a lot of training, which we ordinary people just give up in 2 days. You know what I mean? It's not that they became star overnight. Wow, you know how they train, don't you? Huh? Sometimes they have to wake up in the wee hour of the mornings and go through ice and all this while we are sleeping and we're having lazy life. But then we don't become stars. You see? We don't become Olympic stars. Even movie stars. They train very hard. I mean, those who were really exceptional. For example, there is a movie in Hong Kong from Jackie Chan. You know Jackie Chan?
Yes.
The boxing director and also star of Hong Kong?
Yes.
Okay, there is a movie about his life. When he was young, he was given away by his parents. His mother perhaps cannot take care too much, you know, because poor family or something. So he was given away to the teacher. And when you were given away in that situation, your mother don't complain. You die or you live with the teacher. You know what I mean? The teacher can do anything to you. Legally, he's not, you know, be responsible for anything that happens to the students. They train very hard. Oh my God! He even bend their body into V shape, you know, T shape. In a small age, it's easier to train the children. And they have to bend and they have to jump and they have to go through a lot of hard training. That's why when you see his movie now, it's real. He really jumped, he really bent, he really kick around, he really, you know, practice. He really works his art. He never used, what do you say? Well, a stuntman. Yeah, he never used stuntman. He always do all this dangerous, dangerous role, dangerous, no, scene, huh? Right, dangerous scene himself. That's why people like him so much, because he's very genuine, you know. He was born poor. He's not that poor, but and then he stayed together with those poor children in his teacher's protection and teaching. And then they grow up together, and most of them, all of them became, accomplished movie stars themselves. But they went through, oh my God, training. I saw the children. And you shed tears when you see them, how they are treated. It's not that the teacher did not love them, it's just the way it has to be. You know, and they grow up, become accomplished stars of Hong Kong, and even international-wise. That is because due to the teacher have treated them so hard and trained them so rigorously, even adults cannot bear it. And sometimes they have to go through hunger and thirst, because the teacher punished them. Children, you know, sometimes they're mischievous, they go out and they forget to come home or something like that. And the teacher punished them, let them go hungry one day, thing like that. And they go and steal some food next door and then get bitten, bleeding, you know, thing like that. This movie is very touching. Not because of the life of the children only, but the relationship between the teacher and the student is very, very nice. I don't know if you have seen these movies. You could have. You can rent it from the video rental, huh? I don't know if it's in America very popular. I watch it in Hong Kong. It's all in Chinese. But you could have people translate it to you. Some movies are not only movies, you know, they're really educational in nature. I watch movies occasionally. I don't watch it every day. I don't watch the news and all that. But sometimes I do. But it's rarely. I just don't remember. If you tell me to watch the news at 8 o'clock, I forget until 10. And then it's gone. And probably if you tell me, and there's another one at 11 o'clock, and then I would forget again. You know, it's just, I am not in the world or something, I don't know. If I want to, I can, perhaps, but I have to make alarm clock or telephone, you know, reminder telephone, thing like that. I read books, yeah, yes, just for you. Also for passing time, when I have nothing to do, and I do other things like drawing, painting, and that. And I watch movies when I'm introduced, yeah, to good movies. I'm not up to date with what's going on, or what is the best movie. Sometimes I happen to see it, you know, on the newspapers, like the critics and things like that. And oh really? Now this movie is famous and things like that. But I don't always watch the famous movies. You know what I mean? For example, the Schindler's List, I don't watch, because that probably will break my heart. I don't like it. Besides the passing, let it pass, you know. I know it has a lot of Oscar and it's very famous, but I never watch it. I don't want it. I just see the critics and I know it's not for me, so I don't watch, yeah? And also there's another film famous nowadays, what is it, Born Killer or something, Naturally Born Killer. Ooh, I heard so much violence inside. And I wonder why people can make killing into a social, artistic kind of, you know, event. So I don't watch that either, even though it's very in, you know, very famous. And for example, like that. Oh, why do we talk so much about these kind of things? Oh yes, the Hong Kong movies, the Hong Kong Jackie Chan. Huh? Actually, I didn't know anything about Jackie Chan, to tell you the truth. I'm really a country girl. I didn't know anything about him until I went to Hong Kong. I was in China for a long time, and in Taiwan for a long time. I'm supposed to know all these films because they are, you know, cousins. And every film in Hong Kong come to Taiwan. Taiwan people like to watch it. But I don't know anything about Jackie Chan. Until one day, some of our Hong Kong disciples told me about him, because they are also connected with Jackie Chan. Sometimes they play with him. Some second major role or third major role or a small role, thing like that. Some of our disciples in Hong Kong are famous movie stars, yeah? So they're talking about that. Sometimes I invite disciples for tea and, you know, we chat around nonsense and, you know, it's very easy to have fun with, you know, no serious Buddha nature things. And then they would tell me about what they do, you know, just as a matter of conversation. What are you doing? You know, you look handsome or you look beautiful. Oh, I'm a movie star and things like that. And then they start to go into the business, and then I know who's who. A little bit, but I don't always know. Our disciples are many important persons. I never know them. I only come upon them by chance. You know, sometimes we have tea together, for example, when during retreat, yeah, then I would treat different nations at different time, you know. Like today, Hong Kong have tea, tomorrow Thailand have biscuits, or another time Vietnamese have, you know, lunch, thing like that, together, so that they have a little bit more time with me and more individually, not just a group like, you know, 2,000, 3,000, and never see master, have to use the telescope. Yeah, yes, especially in Taiwan, they have to use telescope to see me, because sometimes they come 10,000 over, and they don't see me. I'm become like a spot in the space. And shining stars over, and then have to use telescope. That bugs me, but well, I have to understand. I don't want to be watched like this, you know. I don't want to be concentrated in front of their nose, you know. And they can control me as they want. They make me small, they make me big, they make me blur, they make me clear, you know. Wow. You feel in the hand, you know, under control. Yeah, it's a little bit sticky, you know, but too bad. To make a joke out of it, that's the best thing. So that's how I, you know, in such a small gathering, you know, and tea and biscuits and chatting, and they would tell me their identities. Otherwise, I never know if they came from Mars or Venus. Maybe our disciple have some extraterrestrial. They're spying on us. Actually, there's such people. During the Buddha's time already. And during Rama's time, you remember those story about Rama in India, the king? Yeah? He was exiled for some time, 30 years. And then his wife was abducted on a chariot that fly through the air and went to the Lanka land, remember? these are the story of extraterrestrial at that time, and also at the time of the Buddha, when you become a monk or nun, I mean the full-time follower of the Buddha, and you have to have a lot of vows. Yeah, the Buddha want to make sure that his congregation is just purely for spiritual. If you truly want only spirituality, then you should abide by the rules like that. So it's not a complication. There's no selling and buying in the Sangha temple, thing like that. And if you still want to have a responsibility with the world, then you should stay a lay person. You know what I mean? That's why just make sure like that only. You know what I mean? Fancy if the Buddha now want to gather people, the monk, and say something, and then one monk is busy selling coke, or another nun was still handling some negotiation, and then it's not a congregation of Sangha anymore. You know what I mean? That's why the rules. Not because the Buddha discriminate, and not because if you keep the rules you can become a saint. If you don't keep the rules, you will not. Thing like that. You know what I mean? Therefore, some of the rules are very funny. Like when you eat, you don't make noise. Tap 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 tap, thing like that. It's written in there. It's just for the dignity of the group. And also, when you eat together in the group, probably you should pray and eat in silence. This is more intensive training. You know what I mean? So that your mind will not wander so much. But when you are a lay person, then you have to control yourself, and this doesn't bother people. When you eat and make noise in your own bathroom, or your own dining room, you know what I mean? But when you're in the whole Sangha, and when the king invited you, together with the master, Buddha, and then you make a lot of noise like that, you know what I mean? Then the whole 200 monks are making a lot of noise, and what do you think? You know what I mean? Thing like that. Therefore, these kind of rules are not for the saintly position, it's just for the social conduct and the dignity of the Sangha members. Understand what I mean? Besides, the Buddha was a prince, and he was taught a lot of rules when he was in the palace. This he carried with him into the into the sainthood, and then he of course tried to teach his disciples to be more noble, because his disciples came from all different directions, and their behavior and manner are bound to be different. Understand? So he tried to, of course, to bring his children, closest children, into nobility. This is good, yeah? But that doesn't mean these rules make you become a saint, huh? Kabish? Many people misunderstand. They make a big deal of monkhood. Of course, it is a big deal too. Not because of the rules, but because they dedicate their life for the spiritual welfare of humanity. And they forsake all the pleasures of the world just because they want only spirituality. So in that notion, the monks are good. If they have this notion, and if they keep to this notion, they are good. You know what I mean? They're worthy of our veneration. But only in that respect. But that's also their business. They want it that way. Huh? Otherwise, you can also do it. You do it in your way. You're the householder, but then you have a lot of friends, and your social contacts, and then you also spread the Dharma, the good news in your own way. It's just the same thing. But the monks are more valuable. For example, now I need somebody sent to Venus for initiation, verbally. Then you are busy. You're busy. Huh? You're a director of World Theater, and she's a secretary of the President of the United States, for example. Now, I can't just take her right away, So the monks are those who are always available for any call, for any job that the master wants to be done for mankind. So in that case, in this respect, we respect the monks and the nuns. Okay? Doesn't mean they are better than us, or maybe they're higher position. Not necessarily so. Huh? Of course, but many of our monks are very highly developed. Not because I say so, but because the people know so. That's why they respect them. For example, when I send somebody to China or something, then some people who are not initiated would have been seeing them in vision before. Say, Master come, for example, they would saw me coming to them, not initiated people. Maybe convenient method, or just try 1 hour meditation or try it out, something like that. And then they just see the master come and say, tomorrow I will send a high monk to you, or a highly noble soul named such and such to you. That's why then when that monk comes, they already know. And that's why they pay so much respect to him. But of course the poor monk don't know, and better that he doesn't know. But they always big mouth, they tell him. And then sometimes he get, ego inflation. Huh? And then inflated, yeah, he get his ego inflated. And then I have the problem. I have to deflate. And then if you happen to be nearby, you say, oh, master, he's a highly developed monk. You told me in your vision, and now you scold him like that. You also no love. You know what I mean? The deflating ego business could be very rough and painful for the onlooker and for the monk himself, because he was informed that he's a highly developed soul, and now master scold him like a small potato like this. Of course, this is not very, very nice, yeah? But nevertheless, I have to do my job, and I hope all of you forgive me anytime. Forgiving is always good for you. Okay? Whether I'm good or bad, forgiveness is good for you. Anything you love, anything from love, from forgiveness is always good for you. So do it, alright? Forgive the poor master. Maybe lowly developed being. Why we talk so much about that? What was it before? I'm always carry on, Just to give you a lot of examples, living examples, so that you do not hear that I talk only like a Bible, or book, written page 1, page 2, and and this is more, it's more driving home when I give example. Is that not so? But then I get carried on and I forgot what's the main point. What was it? What was the topic before? Huh? Where were we, huh? What was it? What did we say before this?
We're talking about Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Well, that's a long way. That's an ancient story. What was it after that? You probably like movies more than my story. You remember Jackie Chan? Huh? Nuns and monks and rules. And what else? Eating. One remember food, one remember What was it then?
Oh, extraterrestrial?
Extraterrestrial, you're talking about.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's it. Thanks a lot. Why I talk about extraterrestrial? Yeah, because I talk about Buddha's time and Rama's time, right? At that time there were already extraterrestrials, some are good, some bad. See, the bad one abducted his wife, etc. And now in the Buddha's time there are also extraterrestrial, yeah? And so in some of the Buddha story books you will read that such and such saying many chariots from heaven come down and visit him, and many people can see. When many people can see together, this is not a vision anymore, but it is a kind of a reality happening. Okay, so let's say that I cannot prove it, okay, then we forget it. But there is something in the precepts, like when I became a nun, I know some of the precepts in the nuns and monks. If you're not nuns and monks, you're not supposed to know. There are about 200 to 500 of them. And you're supposed to learn by heart how to walk and how to sit, and just like a model nowadays. When you become a model, you have to, movie star, you have to learn how to sit and how to talk. It's not that the way you talk is, you walk is enough. You have to learn properly. So similarly, when you became a nun, well, I was, I became a nun once. Well, probably still are. Don't look like it, but never mind. It doesn't matter anymore. It was just I had to be in that period of time to fit in properly with the pattern of history. That's my job. the pattern of the job that I have to do. Probably I have to go through that. Okay, so now, because of that, I know some of the rules of the monks and nuns. I could buy books and read about it, but you know, it's just not actual. Yeah. So during the ceremony of taking the oath, you know, swearing in, that you keep this and this and that precept, there is a questioning section before this oath ceremony. The monks, you know, will ask you, are you human, or are you dragons, or are you other beings? And I look at myself whether I grow horns or something. You know what I mean? So that means at the time of Buddha, these precepts are, carried left over from the Buddha's time, and it's carried out until now. Do you look okay? The light always hurt me. No, it's all right. This is already good. Normally they give, 1,000 watt spotlight. Yeah, you are under the spotlight, something like that. And so that means at that time, even sometimes the dragons and the other deities, the other celestial being, or other extraterrestrial being, are mixed inside of the Sangha. Yes, you know what I mean? They say, we only give the precept to human beings. Therefore, if you're dragons or other beings, please go out. Can you believe it? Maybe I remember maybe at the time of initiation we should also say that. Are you Americans or are you Martian or are you Venusian or what? But we do not care. We do not care. Huh? We do not care. So why do we talk about extraterrestrial? And what else now? Huh? Maybe we have some, huh? Did you suspect anybody? Yeah, well, because, probably, yeah, I remember. Just because I told you about, I don't know who is who in our group. So we can do that. All right, any question? Yeah, ma'am?
After being initiated early in August, I had a dream within a night or two of initiation. And in the dream, Jesus was sitting on a rock alongside the road. And actually, up until then, and probably up until within the last few days, I had just a mental sense that, yeah, Jesus was a great teacher and he's an okay guy, but I didn't have an emotional connection to him. And I guess I have both a comment or a statement and a question. Now I actually feel Jesus. I mean, I feel the emotional connection. And his eyes were so peaceful and so loving and so available and so accessible. And now that I've met you, I'm actually putting one and one together and coming up with a two. And maybe I will put another one with those two and come up with a three. But now that I've met you, I see the same peace and compassion and fun and joy and beauty and serenity in you. But also it's an energy that is around you. It is between us, it's all around us, it's everywhere. It's Jesus energy, it's Master CHINGHAI energy. And it's really beautiful. I guess I want to thank you for the opportunity to have come this far and to know Jesus on an emotional level, even though I must say I don't think I was in the market to know him on an emotional level. But I feel very enriched for seeing his eyes and knowing him emotionally.
That's real.
And so I guess part of the question that comes out of that is, in getting my memory back, my memory that is in heaven that can come to me in this life, in trying to remember my purpose and my role in this life, I really don't want to lose the memory. And actually I've been blessed because I've been given little pieces, little crumbs on the road to where I am now. But I'd love to see bigger crumbs on the road to where I'll be going, and who I am spiritually, and what it means for me in this life, and what I should do in this life spiritually. Although I know every day is indeed a walk in spirit. Thank you.
Well, then take your time. Okay? Sometimes God don't let you know like that. Mostly the purpose in life is kept from you. Because if you know it, you'll try to do it in a hurry, in a rush, so that you can go back home quickly. You don't want to stay. That's the problem. And you never do it well in that way. You know what I mean? You know it, but in your soulic way, in your subconscious way, you know. That's why you became better. That's why you feel peaceful. That's why the outcome is that, you know, doesn't matter what ingredient is fed into your soul, the outcome is that you're healthy spiritually, you understand? Just like sometimes the children, you know, you give them milk, and then they shut their eye and shut their eye again. But still they are fed, and then they grow up, and then they say, I forgot that they haven't been given milk. Do you remember you sucked milk when you were young? Very rare, huh? Very rare. When we were young baby, we don't remember mother gave anything, but we grow nevertheless. That means the mother must have been given something. All right, so it doesn't matter what we have been given. The thing is we grow up, all right, healthy, all right. So, because I tell you what, many of us, given the opportunity to know heaven well, we don't want to live here one more second. Many of us so weak, you know, spiritually, that we just want to go home right away. But that's why we are here. That's why we come here to study, because we want to go home quickly. We want to get to know the heaven better quickly. Yes. But if we know too much, truly, we just do anything to end this life. And that is no good. That's not the purpose, you see? Because as soon as we finish our mission, we can go home. But if you if you try to finish it in a mess, you know, in a rush, it's also finished. But it's no good, no beneficial to mankind and to your own development. Because to us, this life is too long and too much suffering. But to heavenly being, it's not even a wink of an eye. Yeah, when you go to heaven, you will see this is nothing really. And sometimes you feel regret that you haven't done better, you haven't done more to the world, to further your career as a spiritual being. Yes, so please be patient. I have no reason to lie to you. Everything is awaiting you in heaven, and you are given a little crumbs, as you say, just to survive on, so that you don't feel that the Father totally neglects you, you know, or that you are really don't know whether there is a Father or not, whether Jesus, Father exists or Buddha exists. You're right, you know what I mean? Oh, please don't worry, be patient. It's not long. Remember how long it takes until you grow up like that? It seems like a few years. When you are a toddler, and then now you grow up and you have a toddler yourself, you know, you have a baby yourself. You can't imagine how fast it goes. So do not be hurried. Father is very loving. Everything is yours in heaven. Don't worry. If He doesn't give it to you, whom will He give it to? Huh? We are the only children He has. Okay? And bad or good, we are His children. Do you think He likes to punish us? No, He will not. Okay? He will not withdraw anything from us. Okay? But as we develop, He will give us more. For example, if a child is very talented, yeah, and have business ability, then the father entrusts more property to that son, become like a big manager in the company or something like that. And to the other sons, he probably give a lesser position and lesser responsibility, because he don't have that much ability. That's all. Yeah? But they're all together in the company and run the company together. All right? That's the situation with us. So try to strive spiritually here and learn everything you can from inside, outside. And then when you go to heaven, that's all you take with you. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, Master, you were talking about movies and television earlier, and this question came up. I wanted to ask you, I seem to have a thirst to witness or to experience fear and to be afraid. And I think television and movies gives me that advantage without personally having to go through, fear and pain and anguish and so forth. So, when a movie's over, you turn it off, and then you can kind of forget about the fear. Same thing with...
you can forget or you cannot forget?
Can't forget.
Forget it, right?
Yeah, you can kind of forget it because it wasn't there, it wasn't you.
And you like the fear feeling, is that
yeah, you get that, it's like, just for that moment.
Thrill, okay, fine.
Why is that? And what about laughter? Why is that also so essential? I mean,
why is that what?
Laughter.
Oh. What's wrong with it?
Nothing wrong with it. I'm just wondering about the two things, if they play similar roles in life. Is the experiencing fear like a necessity? Is experiencing laughter a necessity?
Also necessary? Yeah, they have a lot of comedy going on.
Yeah.
Good for you. Why not? And I tell you a lot of jokes. You laugh all the time. I'm not a serious monk sitting here and bless you. It's okay. It's good for people when they like it. Yes. But it's not good for children sometimes. That's all. And if people like it, it's fine, But sometimes for the young mind, this is a kind of encouragement for violence, and that will bring disaster upon their lives. When they see too much of the violence as a joke in the movies, as a very easy thing, and then later they try to practice it. You are what you learn, and you are what you are with in the society, That's why these films should be, I think, more restricted. But it's difficult because nowadays children have money, they can rent it, and they can go to their parents' apartment, and when parents are gone, they can operate any machine. I couldn't do it, but they can, all the kids can. On many machines I cannot. Sometimes I don't know how to put the videotape in the video recorder, but they know, all the kids know. Wow, just like nothing. I feel ashamed, feel backward. Laughter should be more, yes. But sometimes the joke is not so decent. So also everything should have a refined taste. It would be better. Huh? Besides about apprehension fear, there are many games, many sports for these people. It's all right. For me, it's all right. If people want to live dangerously, then they should risk their life only. You know what I mean? And not to risk other people's lives and using guns and that for very random purposes. That's what I am not very supportive of. It's against nature that you kill. You know what I mean? Purposely. It's also no good for you. Even though it's maybe good for the person who is killed. But nevertheless, you will, as you practice, you will learn to see differently on the issues of sins and virtues. We are here to learn, and we make a lot of mistakes. It is allowed. It is allowed. But if we make too much mistakes, and at a lower scale, of course our soul will receive the lesson he learns, and he cannot develop very further. So that's all there is. And probably these souls had to stay there and wait in a waiting list for long aeons in order to come back and relearn, rebuild their future in a different basis, with a different basis. All right?
Yeah. And one other thing, when we do reach heaven, all of us, and we're all still going to be at different levels, even though we're all in heaven.
Yes.
Is there still opportunity, as it is on earth, to still even further advance even more? at that point?
In heaven?
Like you do here on earth.
Oh. To the initiates you have. Yeah, in heaven also you have. But to the initiates, they're already in a continuous school. Suppose you leave the earth before you reach the highest level, the 5th level or the 7th level, then you continue to study there, you know, without having to go through errands and trials and all that. Yes. And other people in heaven, they will have to volunteer to do something also if they want to advance. Or they can just hang around like that and do nothing and live in boring peace and, you know, not developed. Huh? All right? It's free will to each and every one. So we've chosen, we have chosen to be what we are and what we will be. Hmm? Yeah. These are interesting questions, intelligent questions. I welcome. Please.
Our purpose of living on this earth is to correction of our shortcomings, to better ourselves. The situation can arise, and then try to live life closer to the Creator's love.
It's
like,
all right.
and
What next?
then, what is the purpose of meditating? Is it because so we can become better person faster, or that we get to know what is the purpose of my life here? And I'm not very clear about that.
Okay. I think she can answer you. Give her the answer. I talked for 3 days and she's still there. Just say what you understand. It's all right.
Yeah, for me, the purpose is that I get closer to understanding something about who I am, where I've come from, and what that energy is about, what that energy feels like. And as you do it, you get more and more invited into it. I mean, you get you get into a peaceful, blissful, understanding kind of state, and then you kind of when you experience that, then you bring that back into your day-to-day life, and so then you are able to deal with each situation in a different way.
Is that clear enough to you? Anybody else? Idea? Huh? Behind there. Behind there.
For me, the Master has given a really good example when the Master was comparing the babies, when the baby was sucking the milk and so on and so on. Every time I do meditation, I always think that I'm connected with the Lord up there, and I'm just sucking the milk. When I do 2.5 hours every day, 2.5 hour bottle of the milk every day I do, so that I eventually get grown up just like the Master has compared. And that's all I do. I don't question it, because I just think that the Lord just given me 2.5 hour bottles of milk every day, and I just have to drink it. That's all there is to it. And eventually I'll know when I'm grown up, just like the baby. That's my version of understanding what meditation is.
Right. She did not listen to what I have said all the time. So, okay, I might repeat again a little bit clearly. For you only. For others, it's already clear. Yes. Something like, what is the purpose of meditation, right? You will know that as long as you meditate. You will know. Okay? So now, but before that, you are eager to know. So probably I try to give you a little bit of explanation. Right? If you say a purpose of life is getting to know the Father and be more like the Father, then you have to meditate. That is your answer to your question. Same. The answer lay in your question. See? Because if you don't meditate, if you don't quiet yourself, you cannot clearly perceive, the message of who you are. I mean, subconsciously even. The mind no need to know it. But it knows a little bit through some visions. You see, I mean, the visions is only the leftover of what the soul perceives as an entity of wisdom. You know what I mean? A vision is only like byproduct. Yeah? So anyhow, even if you don't see visions so much, Because when you're meditating, you go to sometimes very high samadhi, or you a little bit doze off, and your mind, your brain are not supposed to know what the soul knows all the time. Yes, just like a chauffeur who took an important person to the palace, he is not supposed to come in. He knows that he takes the person to the palace. He saw the palace, a little bit something in the palace, but he is not supposed to know what his boss is talking about to important person, all right? But the evidence is that you grow better every day. So at least you know that something is going on behind the scene, you know, and that should make you satisfied. You will be satisfied, and you will know intuitively or visionarily that you know something that beyond this earth. Just like she say, you take some crumbs, yeah, but crumbs are better than nothing. Yeah? We can live on crumbs, huh? Better than not. Okay. Besides, we are in the prison of the flesh. We can't enjoy all that heavenly offered to us. Just like a person in prison now. You have a brother in prison, even though you are a princess and you have a lot of money, but for some reason, your brother is in prison. Maybe he committed something, or maybe he voluntarily worked in there. Now you have Rolls Royce and you have a palace outside, but can he live? If he is in prison, he's in prison. You wait for him. You wait in the palace for him, and you give the palace to him when he comes out. Okay? You can only give him some crumbs. Like good food now and again, a television inside, or books, yeah, or some candies, biscuits, his favorite food. But that's all. You can't bring the queen size bed into a prison for him, huh? You can't bring the beautiful, comfortable big rooms with a lot of furniture and expensive stuff in the prison for him. Even though he might be released very soon and he's innocent or anything like that, doesn't matter. But as long as he's in prison, you can't give him anything that you have, even though it belongs to him when he comes out. Kavish? Okay? Now, we are in this world. We have to just receive what the world can offer. Okay? And inside, we got help from the hierarchy of heaven. That's why our life is more comfortable all the time. Yeah? It seems like invisible hands is taking care of our life. And sometimes it's even visible. Many people are not denied the vision of the Master coming in person to help them in time of trouble and in time of emergency. They see the Master all the time. And sometimes other heavenly beings helping with the Master, or sometimes the Master sends some heavenly beings to help, and not the Master personally, because it's not necessary. You know what I mean? So, it doesn't matter whether your brain truly knows it or not know it. It doesn't matter, because we work in the soul system. Brain is only a computer. What does a computer know about the owner? All right? The computer not only can receive what you tap in it and give out what it is, right? But everything else you know, you do, computer don't have to know and cannot know. And you embrace your husband, you love your children, you go to the movie, you go to the swimming pool. What's that have to do with the computer? The computer don't have to know your enjoyment. The computer cannot know your enjoyment. Yeah? The brain is only a computer, no emotion, no feeling. You know what I mean? The feeling is another center, another thing. That's a celestial thing. So do not expect that you know everything with the brain. All right? But you know it intuitively. Yes, okay. Any more? It takes time to know. See? It takes time. Talking to you. It takes time to know. You only initiated yesterday.
When I was meditating,
For 12 hours.
I started thinking about you somehow.
Yes.
And then I said, I have to know this.
Yes.
I
All
have
right.
to know this.
You
Then
will
they
know.
left the message. Oh no, I thought you left already last time.
Okay. Yes, I feel that you wanted to see me once again, so I cannot resist this, and I have to come here, even though against my will. I always do things against my will. Probably I also don't remember my mission. I do it slowly, I take it easy, and I do it lazily. No? If I do know it, I do it quick. If I know it, I do it quickly, and then I go home. Yes. The Master also don't let you know, okay? You know, but you don't know. You know, but not with the calculating mind. So you do things more spontaneously. It's better so. It's better so, you know. Otherwise, sometimes we cannot bear the sorrow and the happiness of this world. If we know it in advance, we'll shrink. You know, we don't want to go there. It's very difficult for us to know that in 2 years' time we will have very bad accidents and fractures and hospitalized for 2 months, things like that. Then you will live the drama every day of your life until 2 years later. You know what I mean? Just like a person who is going to be executed, and if they tell them 2 months in advance, you know, do you think it's not a hell for him in 2 months' time? You know what I mean? Like every day he's executed. You know what I mean? Just like you're going to have a shot from a doctor. I still don't like it. It shocked me last week. And before that, I said, oh, please be gentle with me. And I suffer before the needle come in, I suffer. You know, but when it comes in, okay, I jerk a little bit and that's gone. You know, of course it hurt afterward. I could not walk. I couldn't walk, you know, very easily. But still, you know, the moment it's come in, you already know that's it. It's done. You know, it's better than the moment before when she prepared. And she deliberately made it so slow. I think my imagination. It's like slow motion picture. You know? Oh, she peeled the plastic. And she looked at the needle. She tried. She spit it out. And she don't like it. And she do it again in front of my eyes. And this few seconds seems eternity to me. I don't like needles because since childhood my father always forced it on me and I don't like it. If I can run, I run. So that's the problem. You know what I mean? When we know the trials and tribulation we have to undergo in the future, or even happiness, we'll be too eager and we can never live every day normally. We will be missing every day out of the present time. We'll be living in the future. You know what I mean? Hey. So that's no good, huh? And some people like to even live in the past. But they're okay, it's their choice. I think I have enough to do with present time. Now is important. Take care of everything you do right now, and the future will be all right. Huh? Do it correctly, and the future will be all right. The future depends on the present. Okay? And the past, don't worry about the past. The past might not be yours, maybe somebody else's DNA.
I have a question about the meditation technique that we learned the other day.
Yeah.
And my experience just the last 2 days has been that it's very exhausting, the first part. Maybe because I've been meditating another way for some time. And it's like that the use of the mantras, all of those mantras,
It's come together.
you know, it's like so exhausting to
Mix up. Okay, take it easy. All right?
Yeah.
Say it when you remember. Yeah? You can't remember right away. Okay?
Yeah.
It's a habit that you have to change. That's why I said to many people, if you do some other things before, you have to come back to the 0 point and then start it. It's all right. Don't worry.
What seems to happen is that there's light, and then you're present there, and it's like I get lost in that rather than in the, you know, and then I kind of.
What else do you want?
Okay.
You exhaust yourself. The vision's there, master's there, and what else do you want?
To repeat all those mantras.
When the master comes, you don't even need to repeat the mantra.
That's
Just
what
a bit.
That's what I want to know. Thank you.
You repeat when you remember, okay? You repeat only to see whether you see the right vision or you see a hallucination. Okay? That's all there is, all right? And you repeat because it will calm your mind and it brings you to the vision of the one-pointedness. Okay? When you were there, don't struggle too hard. You remember, repeat even 5 minutes, one word is all right. Repeating is only to keep you in the right direction, you know? Just like the meter, say the mileage meter, yes, to keep you straight on the road, huh? Otherwise you stray, okay? Even you drive the car accidentally, you have to always balance with the steering wheel now. Otherwise, you stray aside and then make accident. Huh? That's all there is. Okay, it's not that important that you forsake your vision for it. The holy names are the names of the lords of the different regions of our consciousness, of the hierarchy. This just to remind you, stay there. You know what I mean? Don't go to the subdivision and or the lower level of existence. All right? But when you are there, it's okay, just enjoy. Yeah, and repeat it now and again. It's all right. Only when you're not sure or when you remember, then you repeat. But don't sacrifice one pointedness just to struggle for that. Which mantra, what mantra? There's no mantra really. You know what I mean? Okay. Right.
Again, I have another bigger question.
Please, yes, all right.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you about was when I'm doing meditation or just thinking and something comes up and it's fearful for me, I tend to think that I'm to challenge that fear. In other words, and I keep doing this, and I don't think, sometimes I think,
You like fear, that's
yeah, but I keep thinking, okay, why can't I just leave it alone and just let it run its course, and then
I tell you what, you're so much like fear, that's why. Why don't you watch all the fear movies in the world? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, shut yourself, watch it, and then eat up all the fear, and then finish with it. And don't bring it to your meditation.
Yeah.
Because I don't teach you to meditate on fear.
Right. No, I mean,
okay.
And within the meditation, see, like I have a fear of snakes.
You like it, that's why.
No, I don't.
You love it.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't. I do not like it. But what happens?
Unconsciously, you bring it.
Yeah, I may bring it to myself, and that's what I'm wondering. If can I just simply let it be? For example, I don't want to have to say, okay, I'm afraid of this. Let's take snakes, for example. Okay, I'm going to go find a snake and challenge it. Just bring it into my presence. Okay, now I meet you. Now I can dismiss you, so to speak. If you understand what I'm saying.
Okay. Anyhow, just be natural, all right? If the snake come and repeat the 5 names, and it goes on, okay? Don't bother about fear or not fear, okay? If the feeling of fear is there, okay, let it be. You do your job, all right? Because we sometimes cannot have the feeling if we are hanging on to a certain level. Yeah. If we go above that, then it's all right. It's no more fear, okay? And you forget the fear and the not fear even. Okay, so try to go above that. Instead of fighting with the fear, go above it, okay? Just like the road is full of gravels and thorns, and you don't bother to pick one by one like that, Just wear boots, big boots, and then walk on it. Go home quickly, all right? Now that's something we have to go through sometimes in order to go to the tranquil state. That's why you have to meditate a lot to practice this art. Just like me when I go to the sea, sometimes the sea wave is so big, I dare not go across the wave because it hit me. The place to send me back where I belong. But once you go through that wave, in the shore, next to the shore, you go to the tranquil water. It's not so much waves anymore, and then you can do a lot of surfing or boat rolling, things like that. Is fun. But I never go through this test. These days, yeah. I used to do. Perhaps this day I'm weak. It's all right. So just like your spiritual practice, sometimes you're weak. Because sometimes you're weak bodily and spiritually, or the will is weak at that time. Maybe because you're influenced by something, or by the society, or by the background that you have not been able to overcome. When I was young, I played with the waves and I don't care. And even recently, I was in Miami waiting for a transit flight to Costa Rica. And I was only with another female disciple, female nun. And then I took her out into the deep water, up to here. And she could not swim. I could not swim very well. I mean, not in the ocean so long straight, but I could swim a little bit. But I took her out there, and because the water calmed there, we went through the wave and go there. I took her inside, no problem. But these days, I dare not cross the wave. I dare not go into the deeper water. I was so weak, perhaps the bodily weak. And then that makes the spirit also you know, sleepy, and perhaps I want to take a vacation. And so I dare not go cross the water. You know what I mean? The wave. Once you cross the wave, the strong waves, inside is calm. You know what I mean? Like that. Spiritually like that. Also, we cross the rough time of the beginning, and then later on we'll be okay. All right? Anything else? Yeah, here.
I might be mixed up on this question.
Okay,
So
okay.
just gonna
Sorry.
carry on. It seems like knowledge, universal knowledge or whatever it is, knowledge is within us. Yeah, we don't look outside or try to read books to find this basic knowledge. I'm thinking about good and bad. Okay, when you
Can you please let me be quiet for 1 second or two, okay? Then ask me, okay? Because I'm disturbed by reason, event, 3 person. Okay. Yeah.
okay, in good or bad,
Now you're disturbed.
like I said, my question might be all jumbled up. I see you can see it.
It's all right.
There's a good feeling when you think something is good or you do something good. When it's bad, you don't have the right feeling and you know it's bad. Is there a time when you think something is good but it's not really good? Like you somehow use your computer too much to mask the real truth from your heart. I don't know, does good and bad come from your heart? Because it feels like it comes from here rather than thinking.
No, it comes, the good comes from the positive side of our nature. The bad comes from the negative side. Mostly the negative side we borrow when we come here. You know what I mean? The environment or affect, influence. And then the habit that we learn with the people we are with, the company we are in, right? It's like
movies.
Yes, things like that. Yes, just like you're not born a smoker or alcoholic, you learn it from the society. And once you become habitual to the smoke, whenever you see a cigarette, you just want it. And when you don't see a cigarette, it's still in your mind. You want to have one, yeah? Or you want to have one more alcoholic glass of, whatever, liquid, that's harmful one. Because you get into this habit, you're not born with it, okay? All right. For example, like you see somebody hitting somebody else, when he's angry, and then that person hit back and like that, and you keep seeing this image in your mind all the time with your neighbor or thing like that, and then next time another person make you angry or hit you, you hit him back because you have learned that. You practice that in your mind, or you learn it together with the people who teach you how to hit other people when it's not please you. You know what I mean? So, okay. So now, that's why you see the twin people, even the twin, same DNA, same split, supposed to be split personality, same person, same DNA, same construction, same day and same minute of birth, only 1 second after each other or something, a few seconds after each other, or even a minute or something. It's not much, but still, one person grow up to become a star of a political field or other field, a movie star, and other grow up to become probably a murderer, a killer, or a thief, or a violent person. It is because both were exposed to different environments. You see what I mean? Because learning of this, we can easy to forgive people. Otherwise we think he's very bad. Actually, no one is so bad. He's just born with the tendency to learn. And then he learns things quickly, good as well as bad. And if he learn good, he become good. If he learn bad, he tend to become bad. Unless he have a strong will to resist it. This is rare. Know me? So the bad things not come from the heart, from the habit. All right? A good thing you are born with. Good things come from your heart because you're born with it. You're born with heavenly quality, endowed with heavenly good tools to come down. Then come down here, you drop into this school with all kind of things to learn and to react. And if you happen not to be strong enough and you give in, then you drown. Okay? That's why I tell you, heavens, they don't look at sins and virtues the way we do. They're very tolerant, forgiving, loving. But still, you yourself have to check up, and you will probably feel bad yourself. Okay? That's the final day of judgment.